Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Destiny and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and start configuring the templates so that we're going to be showing up all the user messages. We're going to be listing the recent messages. We're going to be showing the latest messages, and also we're going to be getting the messages and the reg. And this video is really going to be amazing. So make sure to drop a like, consider subscribing, as it really means the world to me. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is open this up, and as you can see, we've got this template over here. From the last video, I told you guys that this is what we're going to be configuring. Now, if you want to get the templates, just check the link in the description below. It's going to help you navigate your way to get into the template. Now, this is what I will be using over here. So I'm just going to open this up, and as you can see, we've got two files over here. The assets is the one that has all the JavaScript files, all the images, the fonts, and the CSS. And this pages over here is just the one that have one page that we're going to be using, and that's going to be the index page. Now, when we start working with the logout, you'd see that this files over here is going to increase. So there's going to be a whole lot of files. There's going to be index, there's going to be login, there's going to be register, search. There's going to be a whole lot of things, okay? And also, I was even thinking of adding a blog section to this chat app. So if for any reason you guys want to see something like that, just drop a comment in the comment section now, and I'm going to go ahead and also integrate that, okay? So now what I want to do is copy this index.html. I'm going to open up the chat app PRJ, and I'm going to open up the template. I'm going to open up the charts, and what I simply want to do is paste this in here, and definitely I want to replace that. So after that's done, I'm going to come over here again, and I'm going to put this side by side. I'm going to open this one up. I'm going to open up the assets. I'm going to come over here. Just get back once. I want to open up the static, and as you all know, what we could do is just get back here, and I'm going to grab the assets. I'm just going to copy it and paste it down here. Simple as that. And when it's done, then we're going to go ahead and open this up on our browser. So now if you come over to the home page, what do you notice? We got all this. So now we need to go ahead and change all this over here to actually get the CSS files, the JavaScript files, and all that. So in order to do that, what we want to do is come over to the index.html, and remember, we already have this. We've already set up the static files. So what we want to do is simply load static. So load static is just going to get over to the static folder over here, and it's going to bring in all this, whatever that's in here over here, so that we're going to be able to use the static keyword. Now, if you refresh, nothing is going to happen, and the first thing that we could do is, as you can see, this is showing a whole lot of things. If that's confusing, I'm going to go ahead and close it off so you don't get confused. Now, one thing that I'd like to do is just come over here, and I want to get rid of all the double dots and slash. So in order to do that at once, I'm just going to search for that. And as you can see, we've got 399 of them, and that's really not good. So the first thing that I could do is just go ahead and replace that. So I want to replace it with empty string. Then I'm just going to hit enter. So as you can see, it removes all that. Now if you refresh, nothing is still going to happen. Now what we want to do is use a simple extension that's Visual Studio Code I've got, and it was built by Code with Tommy. You could go ahead and come over to extensions, and you could download the extension. It's called Django. It's really amazing. I've been using it, and it speeds up my workflow and all that. So what we're gonna do now is, initially, before the invention of this extension, what everyone, I'd say, usually does is just come over here, and I just manually put in strings like this, and we'll pass in static like this. And this is really not amazing. It's really tedious. Now, one best way to fix this is to come over to we could do it by using the Django. So I'm going to say Ctrl+Shift+P, and I'm going to hit the Django. Now, if you take a close look, let's see. Okay, what do you notice now? It's fixing all the statics. As you can see, automatically it does that for me. But there is just one thing that I noticed with the extension. It doesn't do it for the head. It does it for every other places, but it doesn't do it for the head. As you can see, it does it for the JavaScript, but anything that's in the head, it doesn't do it. Okay, so let me actually try out something. I haven't tried that before. Hopefully it's gonna work. So the first thing that I want to do is, I'm just gonna copy everything that we've got in the head over here. I'm just gonna copy everything up to this part. I'm gonna exit and put it in the body just for now, and I'm gonna do the Django. Okay, what did I just do? Get back once, and I'm gonna do the Django thing again. I'm gonna hit that, and let's see. Okay, I think that's not actually getting anything for the link, and that's really bad. So we're gonna do it ourselves. Hopefully there will be an update to fix this. So we have to do that for ourselves, only for the head, but you don't need to do it anywhere else. Now if you come over here and refresh, everything is still gonna work fine. One shortcut that I usually use to do all this is just to pass in the base, you know, the base tag like this, and over here we could just say static, then add an empty string over there. And now when you refresh this, let's see, this is going to work perfectly well. So this is one secret to doing it. But whenever you want to click on a link now, it's going to go ahead and show you this static thing over here, and I don't really like it. It's truly annoying. So that's why I prefer manually adding all this over here. But if you don't really want to make use of the project, you just want to spin something up and see how something works, then you could go ahead and just use the static thing. It works perfectly well though. But whenever you want to, you want to push to whenever you want to push it to a live server or something like that, then if your user mistakenly click on anything that looks like a link, then it's going to show them the static error thing. So I held down alternate on my keyboard, or option if you're on the Mac, then I added that. I'm also going to hold down alternate, and I'm going to put it also in here, and I also want to pass in a couple ones over here, two here, two here. Yeah, that's it. So that's it. I'm gonna come over here and refresh one more time. What do you notice? Everything looks cool, right? And everything is working as expected. So guys, that's pretty much what I want to do. Now let's get back to business. Now back to business, what we're gonna do is go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and start changing out all this, right? So right now we just got only one message, and we got only one user in our admin. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple users also. So I'm just gonna add a new user, and I could call this one Karen. I don't know, I love using Karen, she's really cool. Then I'm gonna pass in password testing321, and also for the password I'm gonna pass in testing321, and I want to go ahead and save this. And now you see that we're gonna get a new user that's called Karen. So whenever we come over to users, you can see that we've also got this Karen user. And yeah, that's it. So we can check out personal info, add whatever we want, permissions, and yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. So I'm gonna come over to message. I want to send a new message, but with Karen this time around. So the user of the message is Karen, the sender of the message is Karen, the recipient of the message is Destiny, and I'm gonna say, hey Destiny, and I'm gonna send this message. Okay, so that's it. Now we could go ahead now and look for this section. So all I'm going to do is come over here, and we're going to be looking for sections. Okay, so right now I think there is a problem with something. Let's refresh this one more time. It's working. So now firstly I'm going to look for this section over here, and we're going to be looking for all the section by inspecting, because we've got a whole lot of code over here. If you look at this, it's over 1,000 lines, and in order to get to wherever I want, we need to inspect. That's one of the fastest way that I know. If you know any other cool way, you could just help me out. I'd really love that. Now it's in this li thing, and it's in a class called chatbox. So I'm gonna look for blank. So there is this li but blank, and there is this chatbox thing. So the first one is Josephine Waters, and that's it. Josephine Waters. Hi, I'm Josephine Waters. Now in order to get out, I'm just gonna say Josephine Destiny, and I'm gonna refresh this. Let's see if that changes. If it doesn't change, then that's not it. So close that off. Let's refresh one more time. Okay, that's it. Josephine Destiny, and that's it. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna minimize all this, and that's in line 146. I'm gonna minimize every other chat that we've got over there, and we're gonna get rid of it. Okay, so over here I'm gonna highlight this, and I'm gonna get rid of it. So just down here, that's where we want to run the for loop. So over here now, what we simply need to do is go ahead and run a for loop, and I'm just gonna say for message in messages, and over here we're gonna end for. So I'm just gonna put in the end for thing, and then when we come over here and refresh, let's see if we've got any message over here. Right now nothing is showing up, and that's not supposed to be so. We are actually supposed to see something. But in order to go ahead and verify this, firstly let me even just copy this, and I'm gonna add an a tag over here, and I'm gonna put this just in there. So for message in messages, I want to make sure that I have this messages thing passed into the index. So over here in the index, okay, as you guys can see, it's called Uncle Bobby. So I need to pass in messages over there. So I was right, there was a problem. Now let's refresh this one more time, and Uncle Bobby is gone out of the way. Now as you can see, we got just one, Destiny. So that means there is a message coming in. Now we need to go ahead and change up all the other text that we've got in there. Okay, so we're gonna start with the URL. We got this URL that we created for the directs. So I'm just gonna say URL, and did we actually have a namespace? No, we don't have a namespace. So we just need to pass in directs, just like that, straightforward. It's gonna be straightforward. So I'm just gonna say directs. And now if we go ahead and refresh this, we're gonna get an error, and I want us to get an error so we'll see what we're passing in. So what is it looking for? It's actually looking for an argument called username. So whenever you see this kind of error, then okay, firstly, whenever you see this kind of error that we're going to get now that says it's not a valid function name, then the problem is that whatever you're passing in here is not the same with what you named it here. So as you can see, this is directs with an S, but this over here is directs without an S. So now if you pass in an S, it's going to work perfectly well, but it's going to say, hey, come on, I'm looking for a username. And it's looking for a username pretty much because in the views.py over here, we passed in username. So if for any reason we're passing in Uncle Bobby over here, then it's going to say, hey, come on, I'm looking for Uncle Bobby, or I'm looking for John, I'm looking for something. Okay, so how do we satisfy this? Now we simply need to say message. Remember, we call this message over here, and we're going to say message.user.username. So I'm just going to explain how we get this message.user.username. Then you guys should be on your way to doing cool things with it. Now take note. If you call this hello there, if you say for hello in messages, then you want to simply say hello. Okay, what did I just do? I'm going to close this off. Then you simply want to say hello over here. Then you want to say hello.user.username. Now we call that message, right? So how do we get message.user.username? Now we know how we got the message. This message is pretty much this one that's over here. This messages is pretty much this one that's over here. This one. And this messages is pretty much this one that's over here. So that's how everything is linked. Now, how do we get .user.username? So if I come back, I told you guys that this messages now is this one that's over here, right? And this messages is this one that's over here. And this messages is linked to this messages.getMessage. Now, if we open up this messages, what do you notice? We got user, and this is connected to the user model. And what is the thing that I told you guys that the user model have got before? So we've got a username. So it has a field in there that's called username. So that's why we said, hey, since you're looking for a username, the error is saying, hey, come on, I'm looking for a username. Then we gave it a username. We said message.user.username. Now, if you refresh, boom, that's it. The error is gone. So that's pretty much it. Now let's go ahead and change out some other things for it. I'm gonna let's see if this is actually active. So I'm gonna look for a class. This is li chatbox. If I pass in active over here, let's see. Okay, I think that's only going to be active on the light team, right? But for now, let me just get back. I'm gonna say active. And there's a whole lot of active over here, so I simply want to look for messages. That's it. Now let's go ahead and change out all this other static data. Now firstly, I want to get the message, so I'm gonna say message.user, then we could just say .username, because for now we don't have the functionality to allow users add their own profile and all that kind of cool things, right? We don't have the functionality, so this is all we've got. Now I'm just going to refresh this now and let's see what we've got.